Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Well, in this video, we are targeting my data analytics audience. For those who don't know, my name is Satyajit Pattnaik. Welcome back to my channel, and I do videos on data, analytics, data science, AI, each and everything about data and AI. And for those who might not even know, my channel has a bunch of videos about data analytics. So, in case you are getting started with your data analytics journey right now, you don't have to pay a single penny because everything is available on my channel. A detailed step by step approach or a step by step playlist is provided in the description where you can get started with Python, statistics, SQL, predictive analytics, Fabric, Power BI, Tableau, each and everything that is needed for a data analyst. And this video is also going to be very helpful for data analysts because I am going to introduce you some AI tools that makes a life of a data analyst even more easier. Well, I have done multiple videos on n8n already, but in this video I'm going to introduce you to some other tools apart from n8n. Along with that, I'm also going to introduce you n8n, which is a beautiful workflow automation tools, and how n8n is going to help a data analysts in their day-to-day activities. This video will definitely help you. So this is going to be a 2 hours video. In case you are a complete beginner, request you to go through the description, learn each and every steps. In case you are a professional around data analytics, exploring some no-code AI tools, this video is for you. In case you like this video, please like, share and subscribe the channel. In case you have a specific requirement, you want me to come up with a very specific video on a specific topic, let me know in the comment section because I'm keeping an eye on it. Next week and next to next week, we are targeting couple of projects. One of them will be a Gen AI project, one of them will be an agentic AI project. But in case you want me to work on a specific project on a specific topic, comments, just write down comments. I keep an eye on each and every comment. Without further ado, let's get started and enjoy. Hi, welcome to this module on no-code data analysis tools. Well, in this module, we shall be talking about some of the no-code AI tools that you can learn to get ahead of your data analytics journey. Well, just a disclaimer that all of these tools are paid. n8n is paid, Make, Lucidchart, Julius, Langflow, Eraser, and there are tons of other AI tools in the market that are paid. None of the AI tools are free in the market. Well, you will potentially get a free version of it for trials. Maybe n8n gives around 1000 executions for free, right? Similarly, other tools will have some other clauses, but it will not be completely free, right? But just in case your organization wants to get started with n8n, that is where you can use your organization account to explore more about these tools, right? So coming back to this topic, yes, as I told you, that disclaimer that all of these tools are paid, and personally I don't endorse any of them for your use. I'm just going to show you how some of these tools work. Whether you need to use it or not is completely your personal choice, right? I just wanted to make this statement, else you would say that, oh, sir was telling to use n8n, sir was telling to use Langflow, right? Now to get started with, let's say we want to get started, right? On your screen, you can see multiple tools such as Julius, n8n, Make, Lucidchart, Eraser, Langflow, and apart from that, there are 100 others, right? These are just few of the tools that are available in the market. Well, by the time you actually get into this module and start exploring such tools, maybe this list would have been updated. There might be new AI tools that might be doing few other work, right? So the intention of this module is to just let you know about some of these tools, and then you need to make it a habit so that you can explore more of such tools that can make your life easier. Because as part of your data analytics journey, or if you want to get into data science and AI in the future, or whatever journey you are in, let's make it a habit to do research as much as possible. So if you are working as a data analytics person or a data analyst, make it a habit to do research more and more so that you will get to know more about AI tools, right? So repeating once again, we are not endorsing the use of any of these tools. We will be somehow going in depth on some of these tools. For example, I'm definitely going to do a in-depth video on n8n. About other tools, well, see, Make, n8n are pretty much similar. Make, n8n and Langflow, these are very similar tools. So if you learn any one of them, it's good. You don't have to learn the other two. So we will be exploring more on n8n, but I will also touch base on some of these tools like Eraser, Lucidchart and Julius, right? So let's get started. Hi, let's get started with our first tool, which is Julius AI. Well, as I told you that the options that I have shown here, some of the tools like n8n, Lucidchart, these are just examples, right? For automation of workflows, n8n is used, Make is used, Langflow is used. Apart from that, there are 100 other tools, right? So some of the people might be using Make, some are using Langflow. I am personally very confident on n8n because I have spent a lot of time on n8n, so I usually prefer n8n, right? Similarly, there are multiple ways where you can automate your tasks, right? For example, in the field of data analytics, right? Where are the areas that you feel that AI can help? Of course, code generation, code debugging is something AI can definitely help. You can take help of ChatGPT, Grok, these kind of tools, right? But apart from that, there can be n number of use cases. For example, you are analyzing your SQL data, right? Let's say you have a bunch of tables, table 1, table 2, table 3, table 4. Let's say you want to create some sort of a entity relationship diagram, right? Like a ER diagram. Do we have an AI tool to create an ERD diagram? Yes. The answer is yes. And the answer to this question is basically, I was talking about this tool, right? Eraser. I use Eraser on a, like, personally I have used Eraser. um, Eraser can do multiple things. It can generate ERD diagrams, it can generate architecture diagrams and so on, right? Apart from that, where else can we use AI tools? Of course, some of you might be thinking about writing DAX functions, let's say, especially when you are working with Power BI, right? Now, DAX functions can be written using ChatGPT or Grok or any of these tools. You can also use DAX query view on Power BI. With the help of Copilot also, you can accomplish this task, right? You don't need a separate no code tool for this, right? Any other use case? Yes, automated EDA. Is there a tool where you can automatically perform EDA? Yes. See, ChatGPT, Grok, these are basic answers to everything, right? But apart from ChatGPT and Grok and these kind of AI assistant tools, there are many such dedicated AI tools that can help on multiple tasks, right? So our automated EDA we will be studying in Julius. Let's say you want to do some sort of automations that, okay, maybe I'm getting some sort of data sets. Let's say there should be some automation where data cleaning should be automated, and then let's say I'm generating some KPIs, and then let's say I'm generating some summary using, let's say, AI tools like ChatGPT or something, and then I'm eventually passing some prompts and I should be able to get a final dashboard. Is this possible? The answer is yes. And the answer to this is n8n. n8n, Langflow, these are the answer to these things. So, right? And that is the reason why I tossed about all of these tools. Right? So this module, I'm just going to focus more on these tools, but if I explore more and more tools down the line, of course I will be making more and more videos, right? So let's quickly jump into our first use case. Let's say we will be talking about Julius AI. So this is what Julius AI looks like, the AI data analyst. Okay, I'm going to do everything from scratch so that we all can do it together, right? So let's get started. Try Julius for free. I'm going to use my Google account to get started with Julius AI, right? Personally, I have not used this tool. I was exploring tools for this particular purpose of uh, enabling some of the AI tools for you. Eraser, yes, I have used. So I'll be very honest, right? This I have used. N8n I have used extensively. Okay, Julius I have not used, but I will try to explore it with along with you, right? So let's say I'm going to use it for personal use. What kind of work do you do? Let's say I'm a business analyst. Continue. What do you plan to do with Julius? Let's say generate reports, perform statistical analysis, get insights from your data. Let's say get insights from your data and generate reports, right? Let's click on continue. And why it's not allowing? How did you hear from this? From about us? Let's say we just write it down as a LinkedIn. Where is your data located? Yeah, that's a good question. It's basically asking for multiple options. Let's say I'm going to choose Google Drive. Okay, now it's asking to import from Google Drive, so let me try to give access to my Google Drive. And here we go. Julius AI already has access. Now I should be able to get a file called as student engagement, and I will be using this file. Yes, select. Okay, so my data set is ready. What would you like to analyze? I would like to see some of the KPIs such as students by location, and let's say 5 to 6 more KPIs for my so that I can take ideas to create my dashboard. Let's say I'll give this one. So I'm pretty much giving a prompt which is not bad. I would like to see some of the KPIs such as students by location. Okay, so Julius is generating code, so it's pretty much like ChatGPT. It also has an option called as calibrate Julius, which basically says interact and let Julius adjust to your analysis. Oh, this is great. This is in fact great, right? uh, View table. Let's say click to view. Okay, this is my students by location. This one is my subscription count, free, basic, premium. uh, this one is my, okay, there are few other KPIs. And then this one is basically students by location image. Wow, this is pretty much good. Here's a quick rundown of what this is. Oh, this is really good, right? So you're able to get most of these KPIs here, and you can see in the suggested one you also see multiple options, like let's say identify top performing courses or compare subscriptions type by region. So it's giving you suggestions on some questions related to your document, right? So really good tool, I would say. There are multiple options here. You can also get started with notebooks, get started with data connectors. But yeah, I think that's it. I just want to enable you to explore some of these options. What do you mean by explore notebooks? Data visualization, there are multiple notebooks. Okay, I think it basically shows you how to use a correlation matrix or something. Okay, it's asking you to upload your data. Let's say I'm going to upload my data. Okay, this is good actually. I would say this is good. Let's say I'm going to use the same data set. And what else? Run all. What do you want to Julius to do? But why is it asking for create a correlation matrix? Yeah, it should directly create a correlation matrix. Why is it asking for a question? Create a correlation matrix chart. Maybe I'm using it. Okay, it's running now. It's thinking. I don't know what is the model behind this. Whether it's a GPT model or a Grok model, I don't know. But it's somehow doing a good job, I would say. You can see the correlation matrix is here. So yeah, so I think it's a good tool. It's a good tool. How do we interpret a correlation matrix? Now, for those who are in this module, I'm expecting you to be aware of some basic EDA concepts, right? If we have to go through this, none of these are highly correlated with each other, right? You can see, yeah, none of them are highly correlated. So that basically means all of these features are independent. They are not dependent on each other. So that's pretty much it. There are multiple options in Julius that you can explore. I think I'll leave it up to you for you to explore as much as you can. But eventually, I think it's just a combination of chat gpt with some enhancements on the visualization side. So this particular tool is intelligent enough to give you some proper charts and all those things. And you can also explore multiple notebooks. I just showed you one of the notebooks from data visualization, data cleaning, statistics. Multiple notebooks are there. You can pretty much explore them. Oh, time series analysis is also there, which is a great thing. Um, let's try to let's try out one of my data sets. Let's say I'm going to do um, uh, 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 okay, let me try to upload a file. Flight. Okay, just give me 1 second. Time series forecasting, um, total passengers or number of passengers, air passengers. Yeah, I wanted to know the file name. So air passengers data, yes, I do have. Let me try to upload it. Yes, I have uploaded the air passengers data, and let's see whether it can, you know, give me a proper detailed forecasted thing. Okay, it's asking for multiple things. Load the data. Yes, loaded. Specify the column containing. Okay, okay, this is good. It's basically asking for the column. Let's say my column is, let me try to open it in a different window. So my column name is month and passengers. Okay, I'll try to paste this data on Miro so that you all can check this out. This is what my data looks like. Paste as a table. So this is my data, right? Ignore the first column. Basically, the column name is month and the second column name is passengers. Okay, let me try to give that this is passengers and select the response. Pass the specified column. Okay, it is basically asking for multiple things. Now, if you are not aware of time series forecasting as a core concept, what stationarity test is, what is decomposition methods, potentially will not be able to run this. So I'll try to skip it. Oh, something is wrong. So I'll try to skip this notebook and I'll try to show you some notebooks that is relevant for you right now, because predictive analytics is something that is going to come in the next module, right? Or in the some of the next modules. Data cleaning. Okay, do one thing. I think we will do like few more videos on Julius, especially on some of these attributes, some of these options. Yeah, because I don't want to overpopulate everything in this video, right? See you in the next video. Hi. So I wanted to do a separate video on one of these use cases of Julius. So here we are. Now, as you can see, we are in the Explore Notebook section where a predefined skeleton is already prepared. Let's try to get into this. For us in the field of data analytics, well, all of these are important for us, but I'm going to focus more on data cleaning. Let's try to get into data cleaning. Now, I don't want to teach you what data cleaning is, right? But just in a nutshell, data cleaning could be of multiple processes, right? Handling missing values, removing duplicates, standardizing formats, etc., etc., right? So here you can see multiple options are there. Let's try to get into our first data cleaner, right? So here we have this data cleaner. Let clean your data methodically from a CSV, spreadsheet or other file format. Upload your file, view the first few rows and receive suggestions on potential cleaning needs without making any changes yet, right? Let's try to run the notebook. In this notebook, it's asking for data source. Let's say I'm going to use student engagement data source, right? And let's say after this it's asking me to show me some analyze student engagement trends, generating some of the codes. Let's say I'm going to directly run the next cell, which is show the first few rows. Now this is like pd let's say data frame dot head, right? Something like that. It's still running the first one. You can see I had mentioned to analyze student engagement trends, so it is doing a lot of activities here. Well, we will skip it to the next part, right? How do we stop it? Do we have that liberty to stop? No, it's still running. Okay, it has done some analysis. Okay, so the first few rows, yes, let's start by examining the first few rows, and the table looks like this, right? It's first of all generating the Python code, and it is also showing you the final output in a more visual friendly way, right? The head of the data shows a well structured table with key columns such as all of these. The additional columns last login date and purchase date are converted date time versions of the respective date columns. From this, I observe that the data appears consistent with date columns now properly formatted as date time objects. This will allow us to perform time based analysis smoothly. What are the next steps? Okay, perform basic data cleaning on this data, removing null imputing null records, deleting duplicates, etc. Well, there is a typo which is completely fine. And here, why it's not working? Yeah, here it is doing a code explanation. The data inspection reveals that there are no missing values. Now you can give it a try on some of the data set that actually has missing values, and you can potentially see whether you are able to get that output or not, right? So here there are different images. Evaluate the head and check the data for abnormality. So it is doing a lot of things, right? Let's analyze the head of the data, and then it is showing you the head of the data, and then it is showing you various other things. So yeah, I think it's literally good to explore by yourself, because sometimes I'm inputting some questions and you might be inputting something else, right? It's always better to explore. So these are the different options available here: data processing, visualization. I will recommend you all to explore each of these one by one, right? It's a really good tool. Model slab and something. Okay, this is basically like a chatbot, right? Subscription wise, well, it's not that expensive, $20 per month, where it is giving 250 messages, AI custom settings. So it's overall it's a good tool, right? um yeah, that's pretty much about Julius. Leaving you all to explore it by yourself. In case you have any questions, you can raise it to us. And jumping into the next tool. Hi, let's jump into the next tool, which is Eraser AI. Well, there are multiple things that can be done on Eraser AI. I have not explored this tool in depth, but I have used Eraser AI for a couple of things. One is ER diagrams, and second is generating architecture. So few days back, I was actually generating an architecture for one of my use cases, Eraser AI architecture diagram generator. So if you just search, you will be redirected to this AI functionality of Eraser AI, and here just you have to describe your diagram and it will be able to give you a architecture diagram, which is one of the fascinated things that I have seen on the internet right now, trust me. And my story was, couple of days back I was working on a client project. Basically it was a pitch, pre-sales pitch. The client had requested for giving me an overall architecture diagram for one of their use cases, and I had prepared the high level design document, but somehow architecture diagram was taking a lot of time, because when we create architecture diagrams, um, it could be very complex, right? I usually prefer draw.io for architecture diagrams. Let's say I will show you one of my architecture diagrams that I did for um, one of the companies. I'll show you the complexity, right? You can see. Oh, I should have hidden the client's name, but it's okay. I am not working for that client anymore. But you can see, right? It's not that simple to work on these architecture diagrams. It literally takes half a day to one full day in order to come up with such kind of an architecture diagram, right? Eraser AI does not give you like this, but whatever it gives, I was fascinated, right? So let me try to give you a scenario, um, and then we will try to use Eraser AI to generate the architecture diagram. So the scenario is very simple. Let's say the use case is, I'm going to work for a company. Let's say the company has multiple jobs data and multiple candidates profile, right? Let's say both of these are coming from different platforms. Let's say we have source 1, we have source 2, we have source 3, right? Let's say source 1 is coming in JSON, source 2 is coming in, let's say, flat file CSV, source 3 is coming from different other thing, right? We eventually need to store them. So let's say we store them in some AWS S3 buckets, and let's say we have a Python script that is basically reading this file and fetching it, and then it is doing some sort of transformations, let's say cleaning of data and transformations and all those things. After the transformation is done, let's say it is storing the data in some database or a data warehouse or a data lake, and then eventually you have like a Power BI dashboard or something that is accessing this database for doing some sort of analytical work. And let's say you also have like a machine learning module here, which is also accessing data from this database, doing some predictions, and it is writing back to the database. This is a very high level architecture diagram that uh, that is relevant to this use case. Now I don't have time to work on this architecture from scratch. I'm going to leverage Eraser AI, right? Let's say we have we are dealing with jobs data along with candidates profile data, assuming both to be in PDF format, but they are coming from different sources. Firstly, we need to store the physical files in a storage, let's say AWS S3, and then we need to have a layer where we can access the files, parse them, do some cleaning, transformations, and store the parsed output in a database or a data lake, let's say database. Okay, eventually we have another coding engine, let's say a ML model that is accessing the database for classification use cases, and it does classify and stores back the predictions in the database. We also have a Power BI that connects to the original data sources, not the original, connects to the database. So this is my prompt. Let's try to generate our architecture diagram. So it is asking which AWS services or components to be included. Let's say I want to include S3 event notifications. Let's say I'll not include anything. Let's say which type of database. Let's say we are going to use a, let's say, data warehouse, right? How frequently? Let's say weekly. Okay. Are there any security or access control? I don't have any security. Are there any specific data transformations? No. Generate. So it's a really good tool, I would say. um, and you can see, wow, the only drawback for this is it is not possible for us to take a screenshot, but however, oh, we can copy it as a PNG. Okay, that's great. So that's pretty much it, and I would say let's try to compare this with what we had done. Good, right? At least it gives you a starting point. However, the fonts are not available here, like these are data sources, so it should pretty much have written here data sources S3 bucket, the parsing engine, but overall it has done a great job, right? So that is one of the use cases of Eraser AI. The second use case that I was talking about, which is more relevant to all of you, is Eraser AI ERD generator. Very important. What is ERD? ERD is entity relationship diagram, right? Let's say we have two tables, let's say we have three tables. Okay, let's try to use ChatGPT, create three dummy tables that must be connected with each other on some column, and create one row for each. Okay, let's see. I'm just lazy to type it down, right? That's it. So let's say I have like these data sets, these databases, and here I'm going to give this, I'm going to ask generate. That's how you give, right? Let's say you are going to your MySQL database or any kind of database, and you are giving it. Let's say I'm not going to pass anything, I don't have the time to read through everything, but you can see, great, right? Great. It's able to create an entity relationship diagram. We have a payments table, Let me also ask ChatGPT, can you create the ERD for it? ChatGPT will create a theoretical ERD, but there is no graphical ERD here. You can see user connected with order, connected with payment, which is also true, but it's you can say it's textual, right? It's not visual, but here it is visual, right? And then you can copy this, and if you want to use it somewhere, you can pretty much use it. Oh, my bad. So that was my first one, and this is my second one. Okay, so in the copied version it's not coming properly, but if you take a screenshot or something, I think you're good, right? So why ERD is important? Well, that is something I don't want to teach, because that's a very basic thing in SQL. Whenever you are working with a relational database, and you're dealing with multiple tables, it is always good to understand the relationships, right? So in your SQL journey, in case you want to have a relationship built or try to see the ERD diagram for, let's say, 10, 15, 20 tables, you can potentially take one row from each of these tables, or else simply, if you even if ask like this, it should be able to create. Let's say I'll change it. Let's say I'm just giving table 2 orders, table 1 this. I'm not even giving the data, right? Table 1 users and table 3 payments. Generate. Generate. See, you don't even need to provide data, but sometimes if it doesn't work, then you have to provide data, right? So that is pretty much Eraser AI for you. Apart from that, you can explore this tool. There are few other things as well. I would definitely recommend this tool, because this has a lot of information, lot of things where it can help you out. Free diagram maker is there, and various other things. Diagram GPT is also there. Describe your diagram using plain language, code a schema or infrastructure script, right? So you can give prompt and you should be able to generate something, right? That is the end of this video on Eraser. Well, for n8n we have created a series of videos, because we want to get more in depth into n8n. So let's get started with that. Hi, let's try to talk about this tool called as n8n.io. So n8n is basically an open source workflow automation tool that allows users to connect different applications and services without needing extensive coding knowledge. It enables you to automate repetitive tasks by creating workflows that can integrated with various APIs and services. You can think of it as a way to build custom automation tailored to your specific needs. What are the different features of n8n? Well, you know, there are multiple options in n8n that you can get started with to create an automation workflow. Of course, it is a no code tool, so no programming language is needed. In this workflow that we are going to create, we will also be using some code nodes, but you don't have to write those codes from scratch, because there will be AI, so you can easily ask an AI. With simple prompt engineering, you should be able to generate the codes as well. So that is also an added advantage of n8n. Apart from that, there are multiple integrations in n8n that supports such as applications like Slack, Google Sheets, GitHub. Let's say you have multiple databases like Azure database or AWS databases or GCP BigQuery. All of these options are available on n8n. And all of this, whenever we are creating a workflow, the nodes that we are going to connect with each other, all of them are trigger based actions. So workflows can be triggered by various events such as receiving a new email or change in a spreadsheet, anything like that. Okay, so that's pretty much all about n8n. To get started with n8n, what you need to do is just click on sign in and you should be redirected to a page. Well, in my case it's already signed in, uh, but you will be redirected to a page where it will ask you for your n8n account name. Now, honestly speaking, I have not tried with a Gmail ID whether we can create an n8n account with Gmail ID or not, but I have created using company email as I already have one of my company emails. So in case you want to create a company email, I think there are multiple ways to create that. That is not in the scope of this discussion. You can explore by yourself on how to get started with n8n account creation. Once your account is created, then I can pretty much help you with the overall, what are the different options, how to get started, and blah blah blah. Right. So that is pretty much all about how to get started with n8n. Now, let's try to talk about the different functionalities of n8n. Okay. So this is how the dashboard will look like. Whatever workflows you will be creating, you will be able to see the workflows here, like the way you are able to see student engagement workflow, right? Similarly, you can easily create a workflow here. Okay, so we will be talking about workflows shortly. Now, apart from that, this is something that we have already used in our existing workflow. So whenever you are creating an existing workflow, you might have to give your credentials or authenticate multiple services such as Gmail or such as using some OpenAI APIs, these kind of things. So that's why you can see all of these credentials are saved here. Okay, these are all personal credentials, right? And executions are nothing but different node executions. It's like an overall report card where you can see which one was successful and which one had failed. Okay, if you can always click on this to retry if you want to, or you want to delete it, you can delete it, right? So this is basically a dashboard overview. Apart from that, I'm not getting into personal and all those things. Templates is something that I will cover in the next video. So that's pretty much all about the basic things behind n8n. In the next video, I will show you how n8n can be used to create a workflow from scratch. And second thing is how can you explore n8n to get started with your data analytics project or like a data analytics workflow automation using some of the existing templates on n8n platform. Before we start with our own workflow, I would also like to say that in case you want to explore some of the work that other users have done on n8n and they might have already made those workflows publicly available to you, you can always check out the templates folder, right? As you can see in the templates folder, 3724 workflow automation templates are already available, and they are available based on multiple categories. Now, as we are studying this in data analytics, let's try to search for data analytics and see whether we are able to get something. Yes, we are able to get something. Create a Google Analytics data report, transfer Google Analytics data to Airtable, YouTube Analytics data reporting API integration for AI agents. Okay, there are multiple things, right? So this is something I was excited about, but yes, this is paid. So let's go back and see whether we have some free options. Yeah, this is pretty much free. You can quickly get started with it. You can directly import the template to your n8n workspace, or you can copy the template to the clipboard, which is a JSON object. So this is something that I will leave all of you to explore by yourself. I'll more be concerned about how to get started with a workflow from scratch. Okay. Hi. Let's try to get into more about n8n. So, see, n8n is all about workflow creation, right? And we should be aware of multiple terms such as what is a workflow, right? What is basically a node? These are the two major things that we need to understand. So let's say I'm creating a workflow, right? Now here you can see there is a plus button which basically opens the nodes panel, right? Now all of these options available here are nodes. What is a node? Node could be anything, right? Node can be, I mean, node is a node, right? It's a simple English term. So what can be a node? Every individual step can be your node. Let's say you want to get started with your data source. Let's say your data source is coming from a MySQL database, right? You can do an on schedule trigger and you can connect to your database. It's up to you. Or else, let's say you want to connect your data with some other, let's say, BigQuery. So Google BigQuery, insert rows or execute a SQL query. Let's say I'm going to execute a SQL query. I'm going to give my credentials and I can easily execute a query and get the data on my platform or on my workflow, right? So let's say I'm going to quickly show you a very basic, let's say a basic node, which is Google Sheets. Let's say I want to connect a Google Sheet, right? So let's say I'll just try to delete it. So let's say I'm going to create a first node, which is a Google Sheet. So here, let's say I'm selecting on row. Here you need to first create your credential, because what is Google Sheet? Google Sheet is nothing but, Google Sheet is not same as Excel sheets, first of all, but it's almost similar, but it's by Google, right? Excel sheets are by Microsoft. They are two different vendors. So Google Sheets are always on cloud. So in case you want to connect, you need to authenticate your Gmail account, right? So authentication will be done. Once your authentication will be done, you will be able to start working with your Google Sheets. Now once your Google Sheets are ready, or else whatever data source is ready, your very next step is to connect these steps, right? So what is a workflow? Workflow is nothing but you need to create multiple nodes and you need to attach these multiple nodes together, right? Let's say this node is basically your database giving data. Let's say this node is your code node doing some sort of a data cleaning. This is basically, let's say, your another code node which is also doing something else. Then this code node is passing it to the next step. Let's say, I don't know, it could be anything. And then this node is basically generating maybe some insights or KPIs. This could be your next node. And let's say your final KPIs you are downloading as a PDF. This is also your next node, right? So you're basically connecting nodes. And once you connect all of these nodes together, is basically called as a workflow. As simple as that. Now, many of you might be thinking, is this similar to what AI agent is? Well, AI agents are similar, but it's a little bit different, right? AI agents are something which, see, AI is a very important term. AI agents is simply the combination of large language model plus tools. And in a workflow, if you don't have a large language model, that cannot be a AI agent. That is just a simple automation that you're doing. So it's a simple workflow automation. But if you add, let's say one of these nodes is a LLM node. So it's basically taking the code and you're writing down some prompt, and let's say you are generating the summary. Now, yeah, this, as we have LLM as one of the nodes, it can be called as a AI agent. But yeah, you can see all of these nodes are not connected to AI. We just have one of the nodes as AI or LLM chain. So it's a bit dicey to call it as an AI agent. But in general, an AI agent is nothing but a combination of LLM plus tools. That means if you are a user, you're asking a question to the bot. Let's say, what is the capital of Madhya Pradesh? The bot is doing some wiki search or Google search, and it is able to get the capital is Bhopal, right? Now, the bot is basically triggering a call to the wiki API, right? So this is your LLM, this is your tool, and this is nothing but your AI agent. Or else, let's say the question is, what is the capital of Madhya Pradesh and how is the temperature right now? So it's two questions, right? But the bot only has access to wiki, it does not have access to a weather API. You can also add an access to a weather API. So when the question comes, the bot, which is your main brain LLM, will be able to identify that I need to do two different calls, one to wiki tool and one to the weather tool, and finally get my output. So the output will be Bhopal and let's say 29 degrees Celsius with 75% chances of rain or something like that, right? That is basically our AI agent. Coming back to n8n, well, that's all about the concepts of nodes and workflow. You can pretty much click on this plus and you will be able to see a bunch of nodes. Let's say you are interested in a Azure Cosmos database, or let's say you are interested in a AWS S3 or a DynamoDB, whatever you want to do. Let's say you want to send a mail as part of your last step. All the mailer options are also available. So this is pretty much a really good tool. It gives you a 14 days of trial period. However, the account that I'm showing is my official company account, but I also have other accounts where we get 14 days of trial period, which is good enough for you to work on at least 4 to 5 different workflow projects, so that you are hands on n8n tool. So that is what we want. So that's pretty much all about the basic concepts of n8n. We will be jumping into an actual use case, a data analytics use case that we will be automating on n8n in the next video. Hi, now that you are familiar with n8n tool and how it works, let's dive into our first use case, which is automating a data flow for a student engagement dataset. Before we move on, let me try to show you the dataset that we are using. In this particular use case, we will be using Google Sheets as our data source. So the data looks like this. We have student ID, we have name, age, gender, location, enrollment date, average session time, how many videos they have watched, assignment submitted, quiz scores average, last login, subscription type, payment amount, purchase date, etc., etc., right? And they have renewed or not. So this is a real data, but the name has been masked off and some of the other things has also been masked off. So basically you can imagine this as some data set, and what we are going to do is we are going to use that some data set as our data source and then move on with the rest of the steps and try to automate this flow. And our final goal is to have a report like this. So this is just an example report. A lot can be done in this report. We will be showing you how you can leverage some of the functionalities of n8n to have even a better report than this, right? So let me try to walk you through this entire n8n process that we have created. Okay, so I'll try to switch over with Miro so that I can explain you something on this as well. However, the entire architecture is here, entire workflow is here, the entire flowchart is here, but let's try to do this on Miro as well, right? So now this is a student engagement dashboard, right? Now in this student engagement dashboard, what we are going to do is, first we are providing our data source, right? Now let me first explain the flowchart, then I will be running through this entire workflow one by one, and eventually I'm going to create a workflow from scratch so that you can understand better, right? Because after creating a workflow, if I just explain, oh, this is what I have done, da da da, there could be confusions. So I will be creating this from scratch. Okay, nothing to worry about. So flow wise, yes, we have the data source first, and then we are kind of creating a node for doing data cleaning. Clean the data. After the data is cleaned, then we are using a node to generate KPIs. Okay, now if you don't need this particular step, you can always skip this. Let's say you want to leverage on your domain knowledge, you can skip this process, no problem. Directly from clean the data, you can directly jump into the next step. Okay, now after this, what you're doing is, you're basically, for let's say you have identified multiple KPIs here, right? Let's say we have identified 4 KPIs. So here you need to have 4 different processes. Okay, let's say you are connecting your KPIs like this, right? And from these 4 different processes, what you need to do is, you need to do some sort of an append. Okay, now what are these individual processes? These individual processes are nothing but taking each KPI and try to returning you a chart, like a online chart. You can see this chart. This chart is nothing but a chart from a tool called as quick chart. Okay, so that is what we are doing here. So this is taking KPI 1, KPI 2, KPI 3, KPI 4, and generating the charts. Now here the append function, we are just taking all of these charts and appending it. That's it. Now after your appending is done, right? Okay, before that I actually missed out on this thing, that before appending we need to call the LLM chain. Okay, so before appending we need to call the large language model. In fact, you can actually call after appending as well. So there is no problem if I just switch it over. Trust me. Uh, because you can see that, yeah, we are directly taking the matrices. So there is no need of appending before calling the LLM or after calling the LLM. So there is no such dependency, right? So directly from the KPIs, you can actually call your large language model, right? See, honestly speaking, to create this workflow from scratch, I took a lot of time, but as we are recording videos, as we are done with the workflow, things could be a little bit fast to explain, right? So that is the thing. So I have done a lot of R&D and a lot of changes. So that's why I did not remember this one, which is completely fine, right? Directly from the KPIs, we are using LLM. Now from these 4 and from LLM, we are actually doing an appending. So basically what we're doing is we're taking all these charts and taking like a summary from the large language model. After appending, let's say we have written down a piece of code so that we can generate our final report. That's it. So this code is nothing but an HTML code. And finally, here we are triggering a message. So again, there is another node for sending a message via Gmail. You can see we have used Gmail send message, but in case you want to send it to Outlook or any other options, just search for mail and you will see tons of options here. Simple send mail is also there, MailerLite, MailChimp, MailCheck, send mail, Microsoft Outlook, Mailgun. So multiple options are there. Depending on what you need, you can explore that, right? Even depending on what data source is, you can also choose your data source here, right? When you get started with a workflow, you always have to choose your data source first, right? In my case, I have chosen Google Sheets. In your case, if you are playing around with a MySQL database or Google BigQuery or Azure storage or Azure Cosmos or some AWS S3 bucket, or let's say DynamoDB, whatever, there are multiple options available. Okay, and that is what makes n8n very good tool to get started with your AI agents automations, right? Hi, let's try to jump into the workflow that we have created. On your screen is what you call a workflow, right? And as everything is ready, if we execute this workflow, starting from the left node till the right node, each and every step will be executed, and whatever function that particular step is doing, they will perform and pass on the activity to the next step. As simple as that. Now, on how to work on a workflow from scratch is something that we will study in the next video. In this video, I'm going to quickly show you the workflow and quickly explain you each node on what each node does, right? Now, as I have already explained in the previous video, that in this particular workflow, what we are doing is we are going to connect our Google Sheets. Now, first thing is we need to authenticate Google login. Once our Google Sheets are ready, then we are performing some data cleaning and calculating KPIs. As you can see the codes, right? And then we have few other things. Let's try to understand each one of them. Now, to get started with this trigger, it's very simple. You have to go here, open Nodes panel and click on Google Sheets trigger. So let me just create, and here you can see it is asking for multiple options. You can just do get rows in sheet, right? The moment you click on this canvas, you will be asked for selecting your credentials, right? The moment you do create new credentials, you will be asked for a sign in with Google, and the moment you try to sign in with Google, it will be mapped. As simple as that. And once your Google Drive is mapped, you can directly get the list of all the documents here. Right now it is not able to load because my Google is not connected in this particular node, but my Google is already connected here, right? So if I double click, you can see my Google trigger account is already connected, authenticated, and you can see document. I'm selecting from list. Now here you can actually search your Google Drive. Now if you search with student engagement, you will be getting this file. Now this exact file is in my Google Drive. It's also open here, right? And then once you select it, it will be asking you which sheet do you want, right? And as I just have one sheet, which is dataset, I have selected this one. The trigger on is row added or updated, and that's it. Now just you have to get started with your Google Sheets node. Once your Google Sheet node is ready, that means you're able to get the data, right? You can see on the right hand side, you are able to see the output. That's exactly the output by your Google Sheet, right? The next thing is a data cleaning node. How do we get started with this one? We just have to search for code. That's it. Very simple, right? So this one, and this one, all of them are code nodes. Okay. The moment you click on code, it will be asking you two things. Do you want JavaScript or Python? As Python is in a beta mode, there is no AI here. That's why we have used JavaScript, right? Very simple. Now here you simply have to ask that, hey, we are getting the data from the previous node in this format. I just need to do some data cleaning activities on my dataset. So this particular code node is responsible for data cleaning. That's it, right? So if I show you the code, this is exactly what it is, right? Sorry, this one, right? uh, you can see all of these things, right? Now if you want an explanation about this one, you can quickly go to ChatGPT, explain this code in short, right? So what's happening, it will be able to explain. This JavaScript processes an array of items, input all, cleaning and transforming each item. Here's a brief overview. Clone item creates a copy of the original item, and it's performing all this normalization, title case, blah blah blah, right? And you don't have to write any code. Trust me, you can simply just write it down using ask AI. Okay, in simple terms, you have to ask that I need to perform simple data cleaning on my original data. That's it, and your code will be generated. As simple as that, right? Now when we go ahead and create the workflow from scratch, I'll potentially show you how it works, but in this one I will just quickly walk through the entire processes. And as part of deliverable, I will be giving you this file, which you can easily use this option called as import from file. And once you import from file, you will be able to get the exact workflow in your n8n account. Very simple. You just have to go to your, let me just try to save it. Just have to go to your, just log into your n8n account. As simple as that. Create a workflow. Once you are in your new workflow, of course you will not be able to see anything like this. You just have to click on three dots, import from file, and you are good. Okay, so after data cleaning, if you look at this piece of code, again in ask AI, I am simply asking that can you use your brain or behave as a data analyst and create the KPIs from this data, right? So when I use that, basically it gave me all the KPIs. And if I execute this step, I will show you the output of this step. You can see when I ran this code, I was able to get all of these KPIs, right? How many total students do we have? What is the total videos watched? What is the total assignment submitted? Average score, etc., etc. So AI was able to give me till here, not this one, right? And as you can see, till the renewed subscriptions, each and every option is nothing but all the KPIs that are provided are single value KPIs, right? Now, how do we visualize a single value KPI? Using a card, right? So I wanted to add at least one KPI where I can show some sort of a bar chart or a pie chart or something. That is why I explicitly asked AI that I want to add a bar chart kind of a thing. So can you do another KPI for students by location? So I used my domain knowledge, and based on that I was able to get this latest code. So you can see everything is very simple, and this is where you will be able to see the students by location. So it has written down a group by function, and that's it. And here it is returning you all the variables. Why are we returning all the variables? Because the output of this node is going to be used as an input in the next node. Simple, right? So after my KPIs are ready, I have created three different, these are examples, right? I have just created three different HTTP requests. So here you just have to create HTTP request. Okay, I'll show you. The first one is about total students. Total students, we have 1000, right? So this is the first KPI that we have created. Now based on what you want to show in your final dashboard, let's say you want to show on your final dashboard, let's say 4 graphs, and let's say 5 cards. So potentially you need 5 plus 4, 9 KPIs, right? One group by for this, group by for this, group by for this, group by for this, and all of these are some basic things. So 5 of them, and these are 4, so total 9 KPIs you will need, right? So understood. So in this case, well, there are multiple KPIs as an option. So you can see, if I'm clicking on this one, I'm able to see all of these KPIs: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So 7 KPIs are possible. So instead of 3 HTTP requests, logically you should have 7, right? But as I'm just showing an example, that is why I am having just 3. One is for total students, one is for total assignments, and one is for the location count. What is total students? So here I have just provided an URL. This is nothing but a quick chat URL, and you just have to copy this and add it. That's it. Okay. Now here in my JSON body, you can see it is creating a donut chat. Uh, and here I'm showing total students as a text, and in this donut chat I'm just showing this JSON object. So this is nothing but this one, right? Just for an example, I'm dragging this. See, same thing, right? So I'm just control Zing this. That's it. And then if you execute, you can see your final output will be stored in a quick chat. So quick chat is basically an online tool where you can easily create chats, right? So eventually what we are doing is, after this, we are potentially creating multiple HTTP requests 1 2 3 4 5, multiple, and the output of which is nothing but a quick chat. You can see the output is this one. If you go ahead and see this, the output is 1000 students. Simple. Similarly, I will skip this one because this is also a very similar one, which is total assignment submitted, which is also a concrete number. I'm not executing it right now. I'm skipping to the location count. So location count is this one, students by location, right? Here also I have provided the same thing, chat create, and here in the JSON object I have provided a horizontal bar, and in the labels I have provided something. So don't worry about this. This entire piece of code is generated by AI, right? You just have to ask, go to ChatGPT, ask that I have created a node, like a HTTP request node on location count. My previous step is having a KPI called as students by location, which has all of these options. I want to write down a JSON code to parse it. So you will be able to get it. Now, if I execute this, it will take some seconds to execute, and we will be able to get a quick chat link, because here we are asking to create a quick chat. And then once this quick chat is ready, I will just quickly show you. This is how the quick chat looks like. It's taking a little bit of time. Yeah, and then if I just show this quick chat, this is pretty much this one, right? This is what it will be shown on the final dashboard. Now, if you want to change some colors, well, I'm not 100% sure if I can do this or not, but I can give it a try. I want to change the bar colors to 1 2 3. How many values do we have? 6 locations, right? To red, green, sand, yellow, blue, black. Let's see. I'm not sure. I will just for sake of not missing it out, I will just try to save this one. And here we are able to get something. Let's try to copy this and see whether we are able to get it. Copy this, execute, fingers crossed. There is an issue in the node location count. Analyzing the error. Okay, let's try to check this with this, and I should be able to find out the issue. The chat type is horizontal bar, data labels, object entries, everything is good. Everything is good. Data sets, label is student count, data is object, background color here is RGBA, but here background color is provided in a list. Is that why it is failing? And rest of the things are same, options, title, display, and yeah, everything is same. I think it should not. Remove all the // comments from the JSON body. Yeah, that could be an issue. Do we have any? We don't have, right? Give me a solution. Oh, I think it's because of this one. Let me try to remove it because yeah, it's not able to interpret. No issues. We'll try to take this one and try to execute it. Now this should work. Pretty much this should work because there is no rocket science that we have done. We have just, instead of one color, we are just providing 6 different colors for 6 bars. So logically should work. Okay, this works, and then I will just quickly give it a, yeah, it's working. See, all good, right? Now we have this new code, right? And then I will move back to the basic LLM chain. Now basic LLM chain is something that we have added here as a parallel step to these three. Now what it is doing, now let's first start with how to get started with this one. You just have to call a basic LLM chain, that's it. Now what LLM chain will do, LLM chain will take a prompt, and this prompt also has been generated by AI. Act as an expert data analyst given the following KPIs from a student engagement dataset. Summarize the overall engagement performance in 2 to 3 crisp and insightful sentences suitable for a leadership. And what are the metrics? I just have dragged it. That's it. The first metrics is total students, and then the second metrics is total assignments, and then the third metrics is student by locations. So I'm dragging it and then doing undo, right? So that I don't have duplications. So we have already mentioned these metrics. Done. Now it will be executed. Now as part of this execution step, you should always make sure that you are attaching a chat model to it, because LLM needs to have a chat model, right? So how to start a chat model? Very simple. You just start a chat model like this. If you want to use OpenAI, you can use the OpenAI chat model. In this case, we are using Grok chat model. So if you go here, you can see my authentication is already done. In case you want to see how to get authenticated, it's very simple. Just click on this new credential. You just have to go to your Grok account. Let's say in my case, I'm just going to Grok billing, and here I will be clicking to the billing credits. I'm not showing you my credits, how much I have, simply going to the API keys and create it, and whatever value you give, your API key will be created, and your API key needs to go here. It will be a huge value, and save it. That's it, right? Close it and done. So now I'm going to execute this step. So based on the provided metrics, student engagement has reached a total of these many interactions, indicating a robust level of good. And this one, yeah, this is a chat model. Now going back to the workflow. So here I have my Grok AI. Okay. So Grok AI basically is doing the summarization. Summarizer. Now what we need to do, we need to attach everything together, right? So there is an append function, or I would call it as an append node, right? Just click on this plus append node, sorry, not append, merge node. And if you click on merge, it will be asking you, do you want to append, combine, or what you want to do. In our case, we have done append. So here my first input is going here, second input is going here, third here, fourth here. That's it. Very simple and straightforward process. Now let's try to execute this step. So after this step, you will be able to see the output. The output looks like this. It will take a couple of seconds. So in the meanwhile, it is running. Oh, it's running again. No problem. Now, after this merge step, we have simply written down another step, which is from here. We are just adding a code step. I will show you what exactly we are doing there, right? So in this piece of code, basically we are asking the code to take all of these APIs and create a HTML code, because eventually I'm going to have a HTML output, right? And then this HTML output should go to my Gmail, and that is basically your end-to-end data analytics workflow done on n8n, right? So it's taking some time for execution. Once this is done, I will try to execute the code. So here, yes, what we have done is grab all the incoming items. We have prepared the containers, and then the summarizer is here in the first block, and then various other things. And then here we are creating the entire HTML report document, right? So I'm executing this step. So the output is in HTML format, so it's pretty much not visible, but I will try to show you. We should have an option to copy. One second, JSON. Yeah, here we have an option to copy. So let's say I don't want to save this. I don't want to save this. I'll close it. So this is my JSON object, but my HTML is pretty much this one. So I'm going to save it in a HTML file report.html, and I'll save it in the desktop. Done. Now let's try to see our report. Okay, this is how my report looks like. This is an HTML format, student engagement report, and some charts. Of course, it's not getting loaded, but we will try to figure that out, right? So that is my coding step. And what is this? Yeah, it's not needed. It's not needed. Delete it. And last, in Gmail, what we have done is I have just taken the HTML directly from here. So how do we take it? It's very simple. You just have to drag your HTML here. That's it. So, and then in this paragraph, I have taken full data, and here I'm just pasting my original files link, right? Because in my email, apart from the dashboard, I also want to send the original file, so that you know our dashboard has an attachment as well. Now it's up to you. It's, if you don't want, you can remove this pretty much. So execute this step, and once this step is executed, yes, node has been executed, and now we should be able to receive our email. If I refresh my page, here we go, we have a report subject. Now why the subject is report? And that's because we have defined the subject as report, right? So here, let's say I'll click on this. This is pretty much my, oh, why do we have one graph? That could be because the location is here, and then here, yeah, it should have everything. One second. try to execute this flow again. Total students is being executed. I just ran the same file couple of minutes back, and this is how the report was showing. We had three different boxes with a bar chart and couple of cards, and with a summary based on the provided student engagement data set, and then the full data can be available here. It is also attached as part of this mail, right? So, but yeah, let me try to rerun this. It should pretty much work, and only if it works I will be sending you this workflow file as a downloaded file, so that you can easily use this import from file option and get started with it. Okay, so apart from this, of course we will be doing the same thing from scratch in the separate video in the next video. But going down the line, I will also be sharing like an end-to-end dashboard with more KPIs, because right now we just have 3 KPIs. We will be having more KPIs, and I will try to have a video on that as well. Yeah, so yeah, now you can see everything is good. The student engagement report is ready with the new visuals, right? So this is a good start, I would say. But is this an end-to-end data analytics project? Well, I would say no, because we are just showing some random KPIs. We need to make it look even better. So my plan is to make it look like a real Power BI dashboard with more KPIs and more insights and more summarized, basically more summarized insights, which I will be coming back soon on this one. So yeah, that's it. See you in the next video. Hi. Now that we have already shown you how this entire workflow looks like, we have also talked about each of these nodes in depth, on how to create, how to connect, and so on. But one thing that we have not covered is we have not done this project from scratch, right? So many of you might be thinking, well, you created the workflow, you have given us the file, you have explained us, but can you help us creating this workflow from scratch? Because that is where most of the people also struggle. So let's create a workflow from scratch. So I'm going to create this workflow. Okay, now as you can see, it's very simple. Using n8n is literally no rocket science. It's very simple. The very first thing is you just have to go to your workspace and then just create a workflow. That's it. And let's say I'm giving it a name. Let's say student engagement. Let's say part 2. Okay, just for the sake of having two different names, right? We had the first one, student engagement, and now we have the part 2. The very first thing is, in any project, the very first thing is data source, right? If you're connecting your data from any other data source, it's completely up to you. For this project we are using Excel sheet, but as I told you, we are using Excel sheet from Google. That's it. That basically means I'm using a Google sheet, right? So I'm going to use Google sheet as one of my options and click on this, and here you can see I have 3 triggers. One is on row added, on row updated, on row added or updated. I'll click on third one, because what we are planning to do is we are planning to do an automation, right? That means after executing or creating this workflow, if there are like 100 more students who are part of this document, automatically if you rerun the workflow, the latest data should also be shown here. As simple as that. That is the only reason why we are automating this, right? So the very first thing is you create your authentication. I'm using my existing one, but how you can do is very simple. Just sign in with Google, right? And then once you sign in, it's just very simple. That's it. Now you have multiple things. One is mode. Let's say I'm going to do every minute. Now here I'm going to select the document from list. Now here in my case, I'm able to see the document on top, which is good, but you can also do a search, right? I'm also showing you my Google Drive, and let's say in my Google Drive, I have multiple files. Let's say one of the files is API keys, right? Let me try to search it here. API keys. See, we are able to get. Let's say one of my document is, let's say, view more. Let's say ZEP content idea, right? So I'll just search ZEP content idea, right? So I'm going to select my student engagement new. From list, which list? You can see I'm using dataset, right? Because this is my name of the worksheet, right? And row updated or added, very simple, and then fetch test event. You can see we are able to get the information in a tabular view, and this is how my data looks like. Very simple, right? And as you can see, there are some empty records which we need to do a data cleaning activity, right? So the first thing is done. The second thing is either you click here or you directly click here. It's your call. Let's say I'm clicking on this one and selecting code. And this code is majorly for data cleaning, right? So what we will do is, let me try to open my, it will not be visible to you because I have written down some of the prompts that I had used. Just give me 1 second. And where is that? Where is that? Where is that? Where is that? Maybe I might not have saved this prompt, which will make my life a little bit difficult because I have to write down everything from scratch. But you can still write down everything from scratch. Should not be a big problem. So okay, let's try to write it from scratch because I'm not able to get my document. It's very simple. I just have to write a code to do data cleaning on the sheet, something like that. Write a code to do basic is not needed, data cleaning on the sheet. That's it. Generate code, and you will be able to see the code. How will we validate the code? Of course, using execute map. If something is wrong, you can rewrite it here, or you can take help of ChatGPT. So my code is ready, and now let's try to execute the step. And here we have the node has been executed and my data has been treated. Oh, I still see some empty records, but it's okay. Payment method, payment amount, I also want them as 0. Okay, let's say I will, because as I have spotted this problem, write a code to do data cleaning on this sheet. Make sure you convert the empty payment amount records as 0, and let's try to generate the code. Generate and replace the code. Code generation complete. Execute this step. Yep. And now, oh wow, yeah, good, right? So this step is done. Now as this step is done, we will be moving on to the next step, right? Next step is creating KPI. So I will be creating another code. So here also I will ask question. Let's say I will be asking a simple question. Write a code to calculate 6 to 8 KPIs and metrics out of the data set. I also want to create one KPI just for our example to show a bar chart. Let's say we want to do let's say I'll see the data. Let's say one of them could be, we had this location, right? Location distribution, right? So simply Create one KPI to show a bar chart. Uh, Student count by location. Okay, let's try to generate this code. So it should give me at least 6 to 8 KPIs, and out of 6 to 8 KPIs, one of them should definitely be this one. So let's see whether it is able to get me the code or not. Once your code is ready, we can quickly go ahead and execute the step. Now let me go through the code. For those who don't know, yes, I know JavaScript, so for me it should not be a big problem. But in case you are complete new to JavaScript, it's completely okay. You don't have to understand these codes. Very simple. You just ask AI and you read the code. In case you are confused, take this code to ChatGPT and you can ask what is this line of code doing, and you will be able to get the solution. So yes, we have the student count by location. Execute this step. I should be able to see this count. Yes. So total students, average age, total assignments submitted. Okay, I am able to see the student count by location. But if I go back, this is where a problem is. Total assignments submitted. Where is total assignments submitted? So here in this total number of assignments submitted, there is a problem. Okay, let me total assignments submitted. Um, okay. Okay. So let's say we have students and then we are taking students. Total submitted assignments is basically students dot reduce sum of students sum plus, okay, student dot assignments submitted. So we can simply make it, I'll just have to number of student of assigned submitted, and yeah, this is a small fix. Well, you can take help of ChatGPT, and you can ask that this is what my problem is, and you should be able to get a solution, right? It's a very simple piece of code. There was a minor bug, and yes, total submitted assignments completely proper, and now we also have student count by location, right? So all of these three steps are done pretty much. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a HTTP request, right? Now I'm just showing you the steps, so I'm just going to create two HTTP requests, right? I'm not going to create everything from scratch. So let's say HTTPS. Now this is something you need to copy paste, right? quickchat.io slash chat slash new, new or create, okay. And authentication, no need, send body. And this is where you need to change it to JSON. Okay, this is where you need to add, let's say it has to be a post method. Now this is where we need to add the total students, right? So how do we add this? Hmm, how do we add this? JSON object total students. Let's say I'm doing this. Will I be able to get data after transformation? Must be a string and array buffer. Okay, JSON, this is not working. Let's say, okay, let's try to take help of ChatGPT. um I'm creating a n8n workflow. My previous step has a KPI called, what is the name of that? Let's say total students. I want to write a JavaScript code. Sorry, yeah, JavaScript. No, not JavaScript, right? What is that? It's basically a JSON object, right? I just have to write a JSON object to create a chart for showing total students. Okay, let's do this. Type equals to bar da da da, and then background color. Okay. Actually, it's not a bar chart. Total students is just a number. I don't want a bar chart. Can you suggest me something? Because it's an eventually a number, right? It's not a bar chart. So yeah, so it's giving an option for got chart. And let me try to copy this and paste it here. I am not sure whether this will work, but we can give it a try. Okay, it's not coming properly. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll try to write, can you give me a donut chart? um, can you give me a donut chart, let's say? It's logically should start like chart type donut, and then data, can you fill it up? Yeah, so chart type donut, total students remaining. Why it's giving unnecessarily two different objects? Okay, uh, I don't need remaining capacity. I want to just show total students. Okay, now I have total students. Let me try to take this piece of code and then add it here and then execute it. I literally took little bit of time here to solve this problem last time, but honestly speaking, I don't remember how did I solve it. So let's say uh, the JSON parameter needs to be valid JSON. It's called by, okay, it's an invalid JSON syntax. Okay, and then pretty much the issue could be also because of these things, right? So let's try to close this off. This should work. Execute it. And now, yeah, now it should work. Problem in Node.json needs to be a valid JSON. Why it is not a valid JSON? n8n node says it is not a valid JSON. Yeah, it's working. Hmm. Yeah, it's working. Let's see if we are able to get something in the quick chat. Yes, we are able to see something, right? Well, it is not relevant, but it's okay, right? What I can also do is show it as a card. Let's say instead of this, can you write can you make it like a card and not donut? Let's say. Not sure whether there is a card type or not, but well, let's give it a try. I'm just storing it in my this thing in my notepad, which might not be visible to you. Executing step. Yes, this should be a better option. Yep. And then okay, this is something is wrong. This is not working. I'll move back to the last option, because this is something you need to spend some time to do some execution and retrials, right? As part of showing you how things are done, well, I cannot show you each and everything from scratch, so maybe I'll just skip this part. As we are already done with this particular graph, I'll move on to the next step. Okay, let me execute this node and quickly jump into the next step. So my HTTP request is done. I'm going to also add a I'm basically going to add a this thing, basic LLM chain. Okay, so here it's asking for the prompt user, and let's say there is no input connected. Let's try to connect it first. Let's say the connection is going to be done between the calculation of KPI to the basic LLM chain, and this is where, yeah, so here I need to basically change it to define below, and here I need to provide my prompt. Let's say I want to take these KPIs and use a LLM chain, write a prompt template to generate summary based on KPIs provided. So you're a data analyst, and this is what I'm going to provide here. Okay, uh, on summary, and based on what? Based on total students, uh, and based on, let's say, for now, let's say we'll keep it total students and this thing, and then execute this step. Oh, my bad, we need to connect a model. Okay, so let's say I'm going to connect a grok model to it. So I'm just using my own account, but yeah, you can create a new credential. It's very simple, right? Now grok model is added. Let's say I'm going to, okay, very simple. Now let's try to execute this step. Yep, we will be able to get a summarized output. See, the idea of introducing these tools like n8n, Make, Langflow is just to help you out in automation processes, right? As a data analyst, we might or might not use these tools, but understanding on these tools will always be beneficial, right? So let's say here I'm going to add the next step, which is going to be the merge step, right? Now in the merge step, I'm going to provide number of inputs, let's say 10, and here I'm going to connect all of these inputs. So basic LLM chain is one input, and let's say my second input is this one. Now instead of this, let's say you are adding another input. Let's say this one is, yeah, let's say this one is total students, right? Similarly, let's say you want to rename this to students by location, right? So you can also add that to the input 3, right? We don't have this one right now, But if you want, we can simply do the same steps the way we did for total students. We can do it for the students by location as well. Let's say similar to this, I have another KPI called, what is that? KPI called student count by location, and I need to show a bar chart for it. And then bar chart location 1, location 2. Don't take hard coded labels or values. Take it from the previous node KPI generated. So I'm going to copy this. Not sure if this will work or not, but let's give it a try. Students by location, yeah, all good. Student count by location, execute this step. There is a JSON error, and that is because of the commented things. Let me try to remove the comments. And then execute it. Yep, now it is able to execute the node. Yes, so let's try to see. Okay, it's not coming. Okay. Okay, maybe I don't want to spend time here. I'm just going to copy paste from my existing workflow that I have already done. So I'm just going to copy paste it. Now the error is because of the name of this parameter, which is, instead of students by location, it is student count by location, right? So I just need to rename this one in the older KPI. That's it. So here I just need to change it to that's it and rename it to that's it. Execute it. I'm done. And here I need to, yeah, everything is good. Execute it. All good. And here I will just change it to this one, and then all good. Workflow is already running. So I'll run it later on, but yeah, once this is run, you can quickly connect it to the merge option, right? So meanwhile, as it is running, let's wait for the output. There is an output, quick chat. Let's try to validate. Yes, beautiful graph is with us, right? Now, as we have connected all the nodes, we have this merge node. Now what? Now we need to add the last piece, that is the code piece, right? So let's say I've added the code piece. Now what this is for right now, this is basically nothing but you need to write a code to generate the HTML codes. So let's say I'm going to ask AI that write a code to generate a HTML code having report with a detailed summary from the previous LM chain in an automated way. Let's see. I'm not sure whether this will work or not. You can generate code once this node has incoming input data. Okay, that means where is my code? Okay, here. This one, let's execute this. Okay, and so total students is still running. And now, yeah, this is done. So let's try to execute this node. Okay, now as my HTML report is ready, I'm just going to add the last one. Let's say I want to send a mail, right? So for sending a mail, I'm just going to use Gmail for sending a message, right? Now here I can use my same account, and what else? Maybe I can also message send operation, and message send operation. Let's say I'm going to give my email ID as to subject, let's say new report, and email type is HTML, and message, let's say I'm just going to take the output of the merge, which is okay. I don't see an HTML output. uh, let's try to see this one. Generate a code. Generate a HTML code. Yeah, this is what we have done, right? Hmm. Okay, write a code to take all the input items and then prepare containers. Loop over each item, maybe loop over each item, and then compose the HTML summary for each chart, and then write a full HTML code report. Oh, sorry, not code report, just a report document. And what else? Return exactly one item containing the full report. And then I'm going to generate the code. In the meanwhile, as it is running, let me try to rename everything. So here, this is a data cleaning node. This was the KPI generation node. And this is pretty much the HTML code generation. So yeah, this is done. And then this one, message. Wait, why it's yeah. Now I have the code and execute it. Yeah, now I have the HTML report. Now, because I wanted this HTML report, right? So because this will go as a message, and apart from the message, I also need to add, let's say if you want to also attach your original document, so maybe in the message you can uh, try to add the href link for the Google Drive. Let's say we can ask, I have the last node of sending a message via Gmail. Can you? I'm anyways passing my HTML from previous node. I also want to attach the original Google Sheet used. Can you write the tag for it? Yep, so let's say I will try to add this one, and here The Google Sheet URL pretty much should be directly from the variables. No, it's not coming from the variables. I can directly give the link of my Google Drive. You can access the original Google Sheet. Href is basically, I'm just giving my link directly, okay? So let's say I'm going to here, share. Okay, and then I'm pasting it and execute it. Yep, and our mail should be in our inbox. Chart summary, okay, undefined. There is some problem, but we have the top locations and we have the Google Sheet. Yes, Google Sheet is available, and here also it is available. Yeah, so last part is pretty much working, but our chart summary is somewhat not working. Let me try to go back. What is the problem here? Let's say in the code. Hmm, HTML report, you're generating the chart summary. HTML report item.name, item.success, item.url. Yeah, that's why it's not coming. Let's say I'm going to paste it from my previous workflow and execute it and see whether it is working fine or not. It's working fine, and let's say I'm executing this one. It's working fine. I have a new report. Yeah, nothing is visible, and that's because of the change in the variable names. Let me regenerate it. Execute. Send a mail. Execute. Okay, let me try to execute this entire workflow once, and we'll see whether we are able to get the final message or not. We are able to get the report, but yes, we are not able to get what we expected. At least these two things should be visible in our final dashboard. Sorry, the final report that we are getting in the Gmail, but let's wait for it. So to build this entire workflow, when I started recording for this particular project or particular use case, the actual workflow actually took me a lot of time because automations are difficult, right? It's not that straightforward, but somehow it helps you in the longer run, right? Let's say your data is keep on getting added to Google Sheets every time, and then every time you are generating the same report, of course you will look at an option where you can automate it, right? But to get started with your first automation, it will definitely take a lot of time, right? So okay, what is wrong here? Let's say I'm just forgetting everything. I'm just adding this HTML report, and let's say I'm going to execute it. So yeah, yes, so we are able to generate. So some of the images are not coming, and that's because why it's coming undefined. That could be because of the title. Let me go back to this code. uh, 1 second. Okay, where is the success thing? Success. Oh, it's actually having undefined in the header, and that is the reason why it is coming as undefined. So if I go back, success undefined. Why do we need success and all? It's not needed, right? But I'm not going to use this. In the header too. Okay, name success, and then I'm going to execute this one. This has actually been a lot of, it's been a very long video so far. I was expecting it to wrap it up as soon as possible, but yeah, what you can do is very simple. Just take this final file and just execute it, and whenever you're working on your own project, of course it's worth it to spend time on your own project, right? But yeah, you can see we are able to get it. um, some of these things, which is the image is not getting loaded or something, that is something we need to fix it in this particular code layer. You can see the image source, this is where the issue is. But it's completely fine. The chart summary is coming, the overall summary is coming, the graphs are coming, everything is good, and that's basically your end-to-end workflow. Well, this is not it. As I told you that I will be creating, I will be finishing this project, in fact, just not with two KPIs. We will be having multiple KPIs added to it, and the final dashboard or final report that you will be getting on email will literally look like an actual analytical dashboard. So that is something we will also be coming up with shortly. See you in the next video.